Volvo's Polestar brand may not be a household name like BMW's M Division or Mercedes AMG, but with cars like these, that's going to change in a hurry. We're here at Montreal's iCar circuit to push the S60 Polestar Sedan and V60 Polestar Wagon to their limits on the track. The S60 Sedan enters the fray of luxury sports sedans like the BMW M3 and AMG C63, but their V60 Polestar Wagon is unique in the segment with its long roof and open cargo bay. The Polestar twins aren't quite at the same power levels as those usual suspects, but it's still every bit the family ride meets weekend track weapon, capable of easy loading and family errands in any weather, or taking it to your local track for some fun. Sharing the same 2-liter 4-cylinder block as the Polestar Cyan race car, the V60 Polestar is twin-charged, meaning it has both a supercharger and a turbocharger strapped to it for all the boost. Fun fact, the Polestar Cyan racing outfit is the only team in the World Touring Car Championship using the production block, though in race car spec, the 2-liter Drive-E is tuned to a full 400 horsepower. In its most sporting street application here in the V60 Polestar, it cranks out 362 horsepower and 347 pound-feet, sending power to all 4 wheels for incredible acceleration. The acceleration pins you to your seat and gives you those fun G-force butterflies in your stomach when you really rip it. Officially, the wagon hits 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, but it actually feels faster because there's a bit of throttle and boost lag before it really pours all that power on, and that's when it just explodes. It's spectacular, especially for a little family wagon. Probably even more important for its performance on track than its acceleration are the brakes. Polestar went with Brembo 6-piston calipers clamping down on ventilated and slotted discs, 14.6 inches in front and 11.6 in back. It's a ton of stopping power and helps gather in all that momentum. And as the track dried throughout our afternoon, we got to shorten our braking zones dramatically and feel the full force of those big Brembos hauling it down from speed and unloading the rear end for a little wiggle. With 20-inch Michelin Pilot Supersport sticking to the track, that dramatic braking was followed by good bite on turn-in, and the all-wheel drive system has been revised for more torque to go to the rear axle more quickly. While it doesn't entirely eliminate understeer, you can minimize it by trail braking deeper into the corner, and there's enough chassis and steering feedback that it's a joy to explore on track. Getting back on power, the extra rear bias helps balance the chassis out of corners, and that power and torque comes back into play as you rock it out onto the straights. The transmission also has some neat tricks that help it master its performance on track without compromising its daily drivability. First of all, the new 8-speed automatic is quick, with faster shifts and a couple sport modes that really transform its behavior. In auto, it's smooth and aims for efficiency first, and sport mode gear changes are quick enough for your average fun drive. although the shift points aren't quite aggressive enough for the track. Then again, paddle shifters mean you can take control of the shifting yourself at any time. There's also a Sport Plus mode that's accessed by a convoluted series of actions with the shifter and paddles, kind of like some sort of a special kill move in Mortal Kombat. At a full stop with your foot on the brake, put the shifter in sport mode to the left, then push the gear lever up and hold. Then tap the left shift paddle twice and voila, S Plus flashes in the gauge cluster. In Sport Plus, the transmission never lets the engine drop below 4,000 revs from second gear up and waits until the very last moment before redline to shift for maximum power at all times. Shift speeds are even faster than sport mode, and open exhaust valves add an angrier growl to this already angry four-cylinder. However, it's still just a 2-liter 4, so the sounds are a bit lame compared to a silky straight 6 or a brawny V8. But the exhaust and boost mix in some new school sounds to provide an interesting soundtrack. The steering doesn't necessarily have the best feel, but it's very quick, and even on the tight hairpins on the track, I never had to reposition my hands on the wheel. Volvo switched to electric power steering for 2017, and while it is heavy, there are cars that deliver a more connected, engaging drive for a lot less money if that's all you're looking for. What very few cars have is that much horsepower in a hatchback with 24 cubic feet of cargo space and race-bred adjustable dampers. The Polestar twins have Öhlins dampers that are manually adjustable with up to 20 settings on each corner. Theoretically, you could adjust the front dampers with the right tool trackside or in your garage, but the rears are harder to access, and realistically, very few owners will tinker with these settings except for experienced track day drivers. However, if you find the ride too rough for your daily tasks or hit the track often, it may be worthwhile to visit the dealership to have them dial it in to suit your needs. In its standard settings, the V60 Polestar is well suited to the track. The spring rate 80% stiffer than a regular V60, 15% stiffer stabilizer bars, a carbon fiber reinforced front strut bar, along with uprated mounts, bushings, and other hardware. We liked it so much that we brought this V60 Polestar home for the week, and when that track day is a distant memory, the ride is just punishing over rough city streets. I could live with it because I tend to favor that kind of firm suspension personally, but it's really not a good fit for someone that never plans to take it to the track. A standard V60 T6 all-wheel drive still has plenty of power and handling chops for fun roads, without the constant pounding over potholes and bumps, and for much less money. Another thing that gets old fast after the thrill of the track is gone is the interior. At a glance, it's appealing, and the materials are nice, especially the amazing leather and nubuck seats with their contrasting blue stitching. But the small buttons and style-first layout of the controls make the infotainment system tedious and distracting to use. At least steering wheel buttons allow you to bypass some of the confusion of the screen controls in the center stack. As mentioned, the trunk offers 24 cubic feet of cargo space, and that goes up to 58 with the rear seats folded. It's not huge by crossover standards, but it's far more than your average sports sedan, although back seat space is a bit tight for adults, and the low roof makes it hard to install child seats. The last sticking point with the V60 Polestar is its price. Starting at over $60,000, it's creeping right up on the M3 and AMG C63, but with power that's well short of those cult favorites and a chassis that dates back to 2010. Then again, with a limited production run and only 200 2017 models destined for the States, it has a level of exclusivity normally reserved for supercars, and it looks spectacular in this signature Rebel Blue. Although the ride is rough, the Polestar comes together as a total package. It's the real deal, folks. The engine, transmission, chassis, and suspension all work beautifully together to make every drive feel special and fun, right up to its limits on the track or your favorite winding road. Volvo's Polestar division has done an incredible job transforming this family-friendly luxury vehicle into a fun, track day alternative without giving up the basic utility of a four-door wagon or sedan. If you can get your hands on one and afford the buy-in, it's a unique vehicle with tons of performance credentials that might one day become a collector's item because of its exclusivity.